be married and all that stuff. But for me, like, I believe that, like, if he believes our kids shouldn't go to that school, I'm gonna like talk with him about it and just be like, here's my opinion, here's your opinion, okay, let's talk about it, and be like, oh, I get your side. Even if it's irrational, I'll probably like agree with him. I'm just a very agreeable person in most things, not all things, but I'll probably be like, okay, you have authority over me, I believe in you. If you think this is the best choice, this is the best choice, but if you're wrong, you have to admit that you're wrong, kind of thing.
Why does he have to admit he's wrong?
Just because, like, that was his choice. And, like, let's say I really disagree with him on something, he chose to do that, and let's say it hurt our family somehow, I just want to be like, I'm sorry I did that. I should have prayed more about it. I should have talked to some advisors about it, the pastor about it, or with you more about it. But I do believe that he has authority over me and that I should submit to him just because I believe in gender roles in the household.
So how do you know the metric of who's wrong?
Like
in this case, you say if he's wrong, you should admit it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he says, no, I wasn't wrong. I was right. This was the right move, and you're wrong.
Well, everyone has a right to their own entitlement, to their own opinion about right and wrong. That's when I think we should go to an advisor and ask them more about it, or pray more about it too.
Who makes the determination, right? If you're submitted. So as you start to whittle this down, we start to kind of dive into it, right? If he's wrong, he should admit that he's wrong. So he looks over at you and he says, yeah, but I'm not wrong. You just think I am, and I don't care.
No,
Is he in the wrong?
I'm saying the hypothetical situation. Let's say like he let our family, somehow we lost a bunch of money because he chose to invest in something or thought was going to like prevail. And then he's like, I'm so sorry. I thought this was going to do really well. Then all of a sudden it didn't. That's what I'm saying. Not necessarily
but what
like.
if he looks at you and he says, yeah, I made this investment and it went wrong, right? But I was still in the right here.
I don't think he would say that to me.
Yeah, but if he did.
If he did, I'd probably be upset about it, but I'd probably get over it because I'm very forgiving of people. And I'd probably just be like, okay, whatever you think is right is right. Because once again, I believe in the gender roles and that if I'm marrying someone, like I have to be submissive to him because I believe in that nuclear family.
Okay.
I also agree. I'm with Natalie on this one. I have always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That's my dream. I literally told my parents that I'm going to work and then I'm going to find a husband and I'm going to keep working until I'm pregnant. And as soon as that baby pops out, I am at home. I'll do the cooking, I'll do the cleaning. I just want to be at home with my children, serving my husband. And I'm with Natalie. I believe in, what did you call it, a nuclear family?
Yes.
A nuclear family where the husband is the head of the household. He does all the heavy lifting stuff. I do the stuff with the kids. I do the caring. I do the laundry, whatever. And I agree with her. I think that it's one of those things that I want to talk to him about. Like, if I think that this is irrational, I'll give my opinion. I'll ask, like, okay, why are you making this decision? Like, what is your rationale behind this?
But what if he doesn't want to hear your opinion? He says, I don't want to hear your opinion.
Then he'll be a bad husband. What type of godly man will not want to hear the opinion of his wife?
And you're nodding over there, right? So what if he thinks, for some reason, that even hearing your opinion will second guess a decision he thinks he needs to make? So he says, you know what, I don't want to hear your opinion on this, and I'm not even going to explain myself. What type of awful wife doesn't submit immediately to her husband's authority and let him lead like he's supposed to?
So you're saying that he doesn't want to give his opinion to me. He doesn't want to give.
Who's the leader?
Well, he would be the leader of the household.
Why do you make the expectation that leaders have to answer their subordinates? Who's the leader and who's the follower here?
I would at least expect him to love his wife.
Yeah, that's right. So who's in charge then with your expectations? Who's in charge? Him or you?
Okay, why would he marry me if he didn't love me? Why would he marry me if he didn't at least want to hear me out?
How is this a question of love?
Because if you love someone, you would want to hear them out. Wouldn't you?
Why? There's tons of times I don't want to hear out people that I love who are saying stupid things I don't care about.
Okay, then why would I want to hear? Then why would I want to hear out my husband?
That there have been people around who you love who say stupid ass shit that you don't want to hear because it's nonsense. Plenty of times in your life you can cope and say, no, there's not, Andrew. There is, right? This idea that somebody doesn't love you because they might dismiss an opinion that you have doesn't mean that they don't love you. Mm-hmm. Who's supposed to be in charge here? Him or you?
He is the one who would ultimately make the decision, but as long as I know his reasoning behind it, that is okay. If this decision is involving our
This is
children
not submission.
together, if it's involving our children
Every time.
together, then that's what it's important. It's important because I'm the one taking care of his children.
And it's
I am
his
the one
decision
doing the
how
job
you
for
take
him.
care of those children. Isn't it his decision how you take care of them?
So you're saying that he would marry me to birth him his children, then he would divorce me because
No, I'm
he
saying
doesn't
that.
want me
What
to.
does submission mean? What does it mean?
I will submit to him because he's my husband. I will do
And what
things
does that?
for
Yeah,
him.
what does that mean? You just use the word to describe the word. What does submission itself actually mean?
Submission would mean that I would do what he wants. I would follow
You
what
would
he's.
obey. You would obey.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I will obey what he
Okay,
wants.
well then
but
why does the person that you are obeying need to answer to you for your obedience? I don't get that.
because I would care. Because
Yeah,
I would
that's
care
great.
about
He
what's
cares
happening.
too. He cares too. But who's in charge here? I thought that submission meant obey. I didn't think that submission meant
you
double
want-
talk.
would you
double
want
talk,
your
second
wife-
guess? You need to explain. You need to do all of this. I thought that it meant obey. I thought it meant obedience.
Would you want your wife to be a silent slave to you?
That's not silent slavery.
Yes, it is.
How?
Submission is I would listen to you. I will do what you want. But you have to, okay, hey, do you know what the servant-vassal treaty between God and man is? Do you know what that is? The servant-to-vassal treaty. God gave stipulations to why the people of Egypt should listen to him, because he brought them out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, into freedom. And that's why they follow his commands. I follow my husband's commands because he'll listen to me, or not, I will listen to him because he explains to me his reasoning, and I will understand. There is
Okay, so why? Okay,
work
so
here. There's
just
a
to get this
treaty.
right. What happens if he explains his reasoning and you disagree?
At least I would have known his reasoning.
Yeah,
At
know,
least
but
I
what
wouldn't have
happens
been
if you
silent.
disagree? And what happens if you
I could
disagree?
give my opinion, and if he
Yeah, I know,
ultimately
so what happens
decides,
if you disagree, though?
then I will disagree. But at least I will know his reasoning.
Yeah, so I don't understand. If you disagree, are you going to do it anyway?
It's knowledge is key. I would like to know why. Maybe
I feel like you're just not answering my question.
maybe I would agree if I know
Yeah,
why.
I know, great. But he explains his reasoning and you disagree. That's the question. So then what happens then?
I've already answered your question. I said I will
What is
still
it?
go through with it. I would
Then
allow
why do you
him to
need to
do
know
it.
the reasoning?
Because I would like to. It's curiosity. Sure.
Partnership.
It's a partnership.
So submission is I will obey even when I disagree, but you still must tell me to satiate my curiosity. That's submission.
I just would like to know why my husband will make a life
that's great that
decision.
you would like to
I
know,
would
but I
like
don't
to know
understand how that's
why my
submission.
husband will make a life-changing decision for my children. And if he does not want to tell me, then what type of husband, what type of loving man will he be?
Yeah. But that's really
At that
strange
point,
because even-
I'm just a slave to him.
Yeah, this logic makes no sense. And I'll
Your
explain
logic
why.
makes no sense,
Facts.
sir.
Yeah, I'm going to explain. I'll explain
Okay,
why your
explain
logic
to
makes
me.
no sense here. It makes zero sense. So if you're saying to me, I'm just a mindless slave who must do what you want, all you're saying in counter to this is, I'm a mindless slave who still must do what you want, but you have to satiate my curiosity. So in other words, I'm going to do what you say either way, but as long as you satiate my curiosity as to the slavery, then it's okay. How in the world does that make sense?
God uses the woman just as much as the man in a relationship.
You are twisting my words.
No,
You're
I'm
trying
using
to
your
make me
words
look. Are
because
you
they're
trying
your
to make me look
words.
stupid? Okay, what I'm
No,
saying.
you're doing that yourself.
Here,
I'm
let-
just
can
sitting
I
on
can I
it.
explain?
Oh my
Can I
God.
explain?
Can we be polite,
May I
please?
please explain? Let's
Yeah,
say,
I
let's
just
say,
explained
okay.
it to you.
Let's
Here, I'll
say,
explain it to you again
let's
if you
say the school that my children are currently going to, he doesn't like a teacher there for some odd reason. He just doesn't like a teacher. So he wants to send them to a school that's maybe 20 minutes away compared to this 5 minutes away one. All right? It's kind of irrational. You just don't like a teacher. But he talks to me. He says, this teacher here at the school, I don't think it's perfect. It's good for my kids. If my kids stay here, then it will just harm them. It won't be good for them. Still be like, it's 20 minutes away. It's kind of irrational, don't you think? He's like, but yes, at the end of the day, I don't think this teacher is good for my kids. And I'll weigh it. You know what? You're right. This teacher might not be good for our kids. I
Weigh it against
understand.
what?
And I'll take them to that 20 minute
Yeah, but
away
what are you
school.
going to weigh it against?
What she just said.
Wait, can you repeat that, please?
You said you're going to weigh what?
Well, I'm going to say, yeah, I agree. Maybe this harmful teacher is more damaging than a 20-minute drive to a school.
Got it. Okay. So what happens in this situation if you disagree with him and you think his reasoning is off? Are you going to do it anyway?
Honestly, I think that depends on the situation.
Right.
So when
we
there
get
is
to
a
the heart
lot.
of it,
It's a spectrum.
it's not really about submission, right? It's not really about obedience, right? If you think that he's being irrational, right, by whatever metric you decide that is, right, then you will not obey, will you?
In your idea of submission, you might as well just buy a sex doll and carry that around. Because in your idea of submission, you're in charge. No. In my
Yeah.
idea of
Never said
submission,
that.
in my
Never
idea
said
of
that.
submission,
Then tell me
we
this,
are
tell me
working
this.
together as a
Then what are the
family
consequences if
where
you
I will
disagree?
support him from the
What are the consequences
sidelines.
for the man if you disagree and don't want to do it? What are the consequences for him?
Say it again?
What are the consequences for the man if you disagree and don't want to do it?
What are the
What are the
consequences for him?
Yeah, what happens? Yeah, what happens?
Do you expect me to say he'll go sleep on the couch?
I want to know what the consequences are.
We'll talk. I've talked about you and I have
baked
talked.
into the hypotheticals. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. We're done with it. I'm
Okay.
doing it this way. And that's
Okay,
that.
then we don't talk.
Yeah. So then, what are the consequences?
Give me what? Like what?
Like what?
You
Like,
have
if
to
there's
tell
no
me a
con- so in
situation.
other words, if there's
Please
no
tell me a situation.
consequence-
I can't just
if
make up a
there's no
consequence. 50
I can explain
lashings.
it.
Like, what do you want me to
I'm gonna explain
say?
it to you. If there's no consequence, then what is the point of you even having an objection? So if there's no consequence, you're going to obey anyway. Why is there even a need to express the rationality to you to begin with? That makes no sense to me.
If he has something that I don't agree with, I'm going to let him know. I'm a person who will support you from the sidelines, but if you do something wrong, then I will let you know. I will tell you. I don't understand why that's so confusing to you.
No, I'm going to explain again, right? Because all you keep doing is every time